spread across the country.
This is as wild as you want it. And it's all here. Every trail leads to an adventure. Because adventure isn't just about the rush. It's about where it takes you, who you become, and the stories you'll tell. Sometimes you need the thrill. Sometimes you need the journey. Start your adventure here at Magical Kenya. There comes a moment when the ordinary world fades away and the wild calls your name. This is as wild as you want it. And it's all here. Every trail leads to an adventure. Because adventure isn't just about the rush. It's about where it takes you, who you become, and the stories you'll tell. Sometimes you need the thrill. Sometimes you need the journey. Start your adventure here at Magical Kenya. There comes a moment when the ordinary world fades away and the wild calls your name. This is as wild as you want it. And it's all here. Every trail leads to an adventure. Because adventure isn't just about the rush. It's about where it takes you, who you become, and the stories you'll tell. Sometimes you need the thrill. Sometimes you need the journey. Start your adventure here at Magical Kenya. There comes a moment when the ordinary world fades away and the wild calls your name. This is as wild as you want it. And it's all here. Every trail leads to an adventure. Because adventure isn't just about the rush. It's about where it takes you, who you become, and the stories you'll tell. Sometimes you need the thrill. Sometimes you need the journey. Start your adventure here at Magical Kenya. There comes a moment when the ordinary world fades away and the wild calls your name. This is as wild as you want it. And it's all here. Every trail leads to an adventure. Because adventure isn't just about the rush. It's about where it takes you, who you become, and the stories you'll tell. Sometimes you need the thrill. Sometimes you need the journey. Start your adventure here at Magical Kenya.
Today's breakfast launch. We're very excited about
There comes a moment
15th edition of the
when the ordinary world fades away
So we'd like to also hear
and the wild calls your name.
give us the expectation.
This is as wild as you want it. And it's all here. Every trail leads to an adventure. Because about the rush. It's about where it takes you, who you become, and the stories you'll tell. Sometimes you need the thrill. Sometimes you need the journey. Start your adventure here at Magical Kenya. There comes a moment when the ordinary world fades away and the wild calls your name. This is as wild as you want it. And it's all here. Every trail leads to an adventure. Because adventure isn't just about the rush. It's about where it takes you, who you become, and the stories you'll tell. Sometimes you need the thrill. Sometimes you need the journey. Start your adventure here at Magical Kenya. There comes a moment when the ordinary world fades away and the wild calls your name. This is as wild as you want it. And it's all here. Every trail leads to an adventure. Because adventure isn't just about the rush. It's about where it takes you, who you become, and the stories you'll tell. Sometimes you need the thrill. Sometimes you need the journey. Start your adventure here at Magical Kenya. There comes a moment when the ordinary world fades away and the wild calls your name. This is as wild as you want it. And it's all here. Every trail leads to an adventure. Because adventure isn't just about the rush. It's about where it takes you, who you become, and the stories you'll tell. Sometimes you need the thrill. Sometimes you need the journey. Start your adventure here at Magical Kenya. There comes a moment when the ordinary world fades away and the wild calls your name. This is as wild as you want it. And it's all here. Every trail leads to an adventure. Because adventure isn't just about the rush. It's about where it takes you, who you become, and the stories you'll tell. Sometimes you need the thrill. Sometimes you need the journey. Start your adventure here at Magical Kenya. There comes a moment when the ordinary world fades away and the wild calls your name. This is as wild as you want it. And it's all here. Every trail leads to an adventure. Because adventure isn't just about the rush. It's about where it takes you, who you become, and the stories you'll tell. Sometimes you need the thrill. Sometimes you need the journey. Start your adventure here at Magical Kenya. There comes a moment when the ordinary world fades away and the wild calls your name. This is as wild as you want it. And it's all here. Every trail leads to an adventure. Because adventure isn't just about the rush. It's about where it takes you, who you become, and the stories you'll tell. Sometimes you need the thrill. Sometimes you need the journey. Start your adventure here at Magical Kenya. And it's all here. Every trail leads to an adventure. Because adventure isn't just about the rush. It's about where it takes you, who you become, and the stories you'll tell. Sometimes you need the thrill. Sometimes you need the journey. Start your adventure here at Magical Kenya. There comes a moment when the ordinary world fades away and the wild calls your name. This is as wild as you want it. And it's all here. Every trail leads to an adventure. Every trail leads to an adventure. Because adventure isn't just about the rush. It's about where it takes you, who you become, and the stories you'll tell. Sometimes you need the thrill. Sometimes you need the journey. Start your adventure here at Magical Kenya.
Lakes, diverse flora and fauna, and an unparalleled sense of accomplishment. Come and discover authentic ecotourism, where community and conservation great marathon.
There comes a moment How's your life? How's your living?
Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Expectations of the day. So if you can quickly just get us in a word or two, what are your expectations for this morning? Go to the QR code. The questions are there. Give us a quick response. Do we have some responses we can project? Oh, I thought you were taking selfies. You're focusing on the QR code. The CEO thinks we should excite you with a gift for just making a response, but looking at your numbers, I'm not very eager to give a gift. I might not have enough. But please, let's have a few responses. ENP, please just project some responses. We want to see the expectations so that we are sure that we are meeting your expectations.
And also be as frank as possible. We'd really like to hear from you.
PS, sir, you are excused from this exercise because those expectations, it will be your burden. It will be shared by her board representative, Mr. Tangi, and the CEO KTB.
And here they are. What are expectations for today's engagement? So we've projected some of them. To know more about the hosted buyers ahead of MKTE. Beautiful setup. Thanks for hosting us. We appreciate that. Discussion areas of improvements. Choices of venue for MKTE 2025 to be considered. Effective planning, unlike MKTE 2024. Short, sweet, and impactful launch. I hope to network with MKTE, you missed the MKTE, and other industry members, address last year's challenges faced. What's different in this year's Travel Expo? The venue is too far. Understand the value of MKT to young tour operators. To learn more about MKT. I love the breakfast and welcoming. I need to see our tourism in Kenya grow, and definitely that is one of the things that we're working towards. Keep time. We apologize for that, but we're keeping time. Yes, so those are some of the expectations. What was he?
Can we have the second question? Just as PS and his team prepare to give us some responses for these ones, can we have the second question, please? Just one. What's the next question? Mafundi wa mitambo wametuchelewesha na hatutawangojea kwa sababu tulianza on time. So I'll take this opportunity to invite the CEO of Kenya Tourism Board, June Chepkemei, who also officiated the 14th edition of MKTE media launch and the exhibition itself. To give our welcome remarks, we are here courtesy of our invitation together with the team, so I'll invite her to the podium to give the welcome remarks.
Yes, we promise to keep time. We'll make it short and sweet. I'd like to ask Betty and Steve to get ready with the responses to the questions you raised in the first questionnaire. You expect us to address the issue of the buyers, the issue of various areas of improvement from last year, the choice of the venue, effective planning, the reason you are here with us today. You also would like us to address the challenges from last year's Expo. So before the end of this session, Betty Chan will come and give us responses to some of those questions. We value your feedback. Our chief guest, the PS for Tourism, John Ololtua. The board of directors here present, represented by David Tanki, CEOs from the sector, our travel trade, CEOs from our economic blocks, CEOs and CECs from our counties, our distinguished trade partners, media, and the friends of tourism. A very good morning. Thank you for joining us today, a day that is momentous for us as we kick off the planning for 2025 Magical Kenya Travel Expo. So today we are gathered at a moment of great pride and optimism for our industry as we celebrate the significant strides that Kenya has made in tourism over the past year. Thanks to collective hard work, strategic collaboration, continued investment, and unwavering belief in Magical Kenya brand, we have achieved remarkable growth between the year 2002 and 2024. We have seen an increase in our tourist arrival by 60% to 2.4 million visitors. And when we say 2.4 million visitors, we mean international visitors. We have another 5 million of domestic. So if you do your math, you can see where we are in terms of tourism numbers as a country. And tourism earnings have also been seen a substantial rise from 268 billion in the year 2022 to 452 billion in 2024. So you can begin to see the role that you play in boosting the economy. And as a result of that, we have seen tourism contributing to $1 trillion to our GDP. Even more importantly, this growth has translated into livelihoods, and the sector is now supporting over 1.5 million jobs, up from 1.1 million in 2002. Now, on the domestic front, we've seen 25 increase in bed occupancy, and we have 5 million bed nights recorded, signaling an interest and growth in local tourism. Now, allow me to just look at what we are looking at ahead. So as we move forward, our focus is on deepening partnerships, curating impactful initiatives, and launching campaigns that elevates Kenya's destination brand. Our goal is to sustain this momentum and unlock even greater value for our people, businesses, and the economy. Now, before I share our forward-looking agenda, allow me to highlight key trends that are shaping the current and future landscape of tourism promotion. And these trends will be instrumental in helping us reach our bold target of 5 million international arrivals. Ladies and gentlemen, the youth segment continues to grow steadily. What's promising is that this group is active year-round, and they are not limited to peak travel seasons. They are adventurous, curious, and a vital market for sustained tourism. We are witnessing a shift away from traditional peak season. More travelers are now seeking experiences during low seasons, and this presents a strategic opportunity for us to develop a market year-round tourism offering. Kenyan travelers are staying longer. The norm has shifted from 1 to 2 days getaways to 4 to 5 days, especially around school breaks and holidays. And we're having this conversation with our peers on how we need to engage with the Ministry of Education to align the school calendar, because it plays a key role in our domestic tourism numbers. And those are some of the interventions at a policy level that we seek to continue to pursue. So this change signals deeper engagement and greater spend per traveler. Now, travel is no longer confined to Easter or December holidays. Kenyans are now celebrating birthdays, anniversaries, and milestones through travel, showing diversification in motivation and more frequent trips throughout the year. Still on domestic travel, I wish to share some insights on our recent research that we have commissioned to help us build on the Tembea Kenya campaign and to support our domestic tourism offering. So our latest research explored the travel habits, preferences, and aspirations of Kenyan travelers across key segments, including families, solo travelers, corporates, Gen Z, millennials, couples, students, and faith-based groups. Now, families, or rather family travelers, remain the greatest segment at 30%. This is followed closely by solo travelers, and corporate travelers come a third at 23%. So it's 30, 25, and 23%. You can see how that shift is panning out. Now, adventure and budget travel top the list of interest across all the groups. Hence the reason we have established our adventure club. I hope you are a member, and we did launch it this year during ITB Berlin. We hope to run more targeted campaigns focusing on this growing segment, and we welcome more partners to join us as part of this club, even as we implement our trail and mountain run series. On the other hand, luxury travel appeals most to Gen Z. There have been a lot of conversations and debate on what appeals to Gen Z, and a majority of us were thinking that they are more adventurous, but indeed they are looking for luxury. Students and business travelers also are looking for luxury travel. Now, cultural exploration, nature, and visiting friends and relatives are some of the strong motivators, especially for families and young traveler. This is good information that helps you shape your offering, so that as you put together your packages, you begin to then realize that the motivations go beyond just fun, but also connecting with family. And now, we also discovered that safety is the top concern for most, while cost and transport are key for faith-based groups who represent 25% of the travelers. Now, trip planning is largely done independently. Speaking to the tours and travel companies here, with social media, WhatsApp, and travel website as a go-to information source. Most travelers prefer hotels, underline, while B&B are popular with younger travelers and families due to cost and privacy. So we dug deeper and we were asking ourselves, why is it that hotels are preferred, but they end up in alternative facilities? The question comes back to flexibility and affordability. So if we continue to review our hotels offering, then we are able to attract more travelers to take on those spaces. So they end up in alternative accommodation due to flexibility and costs. Very interesting. Transport choices vary. Families often use personal cars. Students and solo travelers use public means, and corporates rely on corporate arranged transport. Now, as such, going into the future, we are keen to work with credible PSVs to support domestic tourists, given that access has been identified in our research as a key motivator to travel. So a majority of them will take public service vehicles, but what will determine whether they're going to travel is accessibility to your facility. And so look at, again, back to affordability. If travel will be a barrier to me visiting your facility, it's incumbent upon us to then look for ways of ensuring that they're able to actually make it to your facility using the most viable and least cost options. Now, travel frequency is higher among couples, millennials, and corporates, with most preferring 3 to 4 days getaways. Now, booking is a mix of walk-ins and online search, though many prefer direct verification for reliability. Now, we are in the process of building an online platform that can provide that direct booking and verification, which has come out as a desired option for most travelers. So we call upon experience owners and hotels to work with us on this initiative and to provide those packages that domestic traveler is looking for and can directly book and directly verify. So you can see there's trust issues in layers. So how then do we break that barrier and make it more easier for travelers to book? So ultimately, Kenyans are experience driven, value conscious, and heavily influenced by peer reviews and digital platforms. It takes us back to the Gen Z segment. Why are they looking for luxury? Because they want to be able to show and associate and find identity. So how flexible are you in your facilities, especially the luxury facilities, to accommodate them even for short stays at a cost that they can afford? Allow me to go beyond Kenya, and European market has recovered. So Europe remains a strong contributor to our international arrival, with 28% of international arrivals attributed to Europe. Now, despite previous dips, particularly in Italy market, we are now seeing a rebound. Italy is back, and new emerging source markets such as Czech Republic, Poland are showing impressive growth. So even as we discuss hosted buyers, these are the markets that we look to engage you on, and we begin to then identify those partners that you can then invite from this growing market. Europe is poised to surpass our set targets and remain our highest spending region. So again, in terms of spending, a European traveler from our research has shown spends more, and will continue investing in this market segment with tailored experiences and consistent engagement. The Asian market, currently contributing about 12% of our international arrivals, has been the largest growing region by 19.5%. India and China were the top 10 source markets, significantly contributing to our share of Asia. So, we are committed to working this journey with you, supporting you to refine your tourism product, tell your story better, and connect to market more effectively. So marketing is no longer just physical. Let's co-create content that reflects the vibrancy and value of our destination. This approach is critical in driving interest and converting it into actual visits. We urge all our partners to consistently share timely, accurate data and represent the destination positively. Excuse me. And we've raised this before, that a majority of the negative sentiments and talkability are coming from us. Destinations have intentionally positioned positive talkability about themselves. We've seen certain destinations even reporting numbers that we probably may struggle to even verify the ability to have that capacity to host. But what about us in Kenya? We are quick to share the negative sentiments, and that is affecting the perception of the destination. So allow me to shift gears to Magical Kenya Travel Expo. What brought you here? So this expo has grown from a simple trade show to Africa's leading tourism marketplace. 14 years ago, we envisioned a platform that will position Kenya's tourism offering on the global stage. Today, MKTE has grown far beyond that vision. It's now contributing significantly to tourism trade, investment, and cultural exchange, bringing together stakeholders across the world. So the 2025 edition of MKTE will take place on October 1st to 3rd at Uhuru Gardens in Nairobi, a venue selected for its rich historical significance and its capacity to support our growth ambition. I see mixed reactions. Some are like, really, again? We have looked around and we couldn't get a venue that can accommodate the demand. And I'll really speak to the numbers here. For last year, we hosted 180 highly vetted buyers from 35 countries. We had over 4,000 delegates and 326 exhibitors. So look at that number and the available options we have in the country. The other preferred venue is KICC, but we realize that we will then have to set up inside and outside. But from the research from you, you are not interested in having different spaces because it makes others feel as if they're in the VVIP session and others are on alternative location. So we needed a venue that can put all of us in one platform. Hence the decision to take it to the same venue as last year. But we are glad that the government is at advanced stage in setting up a major convention center at Bomas, and we hope that going into the future we will have better options to host our trade. And so this year we look forward to hosting over 200 thoroughly vetted international buyers from key markets across Africa, Europe, North America, Asia, and emerging economies. And I think in the questionnaire, we've given you an opportunity to suggest where else we should consider and who. Be open to share with us who is this that you would like us to host, and even go ahead to suggest to us what role you would like to play in hosting the buyers. So the 3-day B2B forum will utilize our smart matching platform, ensuring that every participant secures quality targeted business meetings. We expect 400 exhibitors and over 700 trade visitors, showcasing the depth and diversity of our tourism offering. Now, beyond the trade show, MKTE is more than an event. It's Kenya's tourism strategy and Africa's tourism revival platform. Now, as we seek to support our 5.5 million visitors, we are going beyond just showcasing tourism, but incorporating an element of investment. UN Tourism Report has shown that some of the markets that have seen significant growth has been driven not just by marketing, but investment in tourism experiences. And so this year's Expo will incorporate an element of investment in tourism, and we are seeking to engage our ministry and our government to open up more opportunities for us to invest. As we conducted our research on diversifying the product offering, we realized that our traveler still prefers bush and beach. And so we are glad to see our partner KWS opening up the parks for more accommodation, more facilities, and would like to encourage you to invest. Also, the beach product still remains high in demand. We would like to encourage you to invest more and give us feedback on what government can do to incentivize your investment in the tourism sector. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for listening. I hope those insights will be useful, and we are open to sharing deeper in-depth research with you to enable you continue to put together your value proposition and work with us to take it to market. At this juncture, I would like to appreciate our partners. And if I could get the list of the partners. So in the interest of time, I'll just call each of us in groups of 5 so that we can dispense of this. Manrik Hotels and Lodges, we appreciate you. Kindly come for your certificate. Khoisan Safaris, karibu sana. Sawasawa Africa Limited, Masai Mara Conservancy, Narok County Government, Olpejeta. Let's appreciate them. Would like to invite Director Tanki to help me appreciate. So we need to guide. Please make your way up here. So we start with Mendris Hotels. Khoisan Safaris. Sawa Sawa Africa. Masai Mara Conservancy, maybe Nora County, the same time. Olpejeta, is Olpejeta here? Kenya Wildlife Service, Kenya Airways, Stima, Sacco, okay, thank you. Kenya Commercial Bank, KICC, Mara Serenity, Legends. Please make your way. May I invite Kata CEO to help us appreciate our partners. Start with KWS. KQ. Stima Sacco. KCB. KCC. Mara Serenity. Mara Serenity. Kenya Airports Authority, Craft with Meaning, Bomas of Kenya, Kilimanjaro, Balloon Safaris, Go Places, Game Watchers Safaris, and Porini Camps. Saruni Base Camp. Ecotourism CEO, kindly help us appreciate our partners. Lastly. KAA. Craft with Meaning. All right, Bomas of Kenya. Kilimanjaro. Go Places next. Go Places. Game Watchers. Saruni Base Camp. Saruni. Last but not least, Severin Sea Lodge and Tumoto Safaris, Panari Hotels would like to invite our peers to help us appreciate our last batch. Wausi, kindly allow the PS to come and appreciate our last batch of guests. Severin and tomato. And tomato. Panari. Severin, Benati. Thank you, PS. In absentia, we recognize Nairobi County Government, Ubuntu Live, Samburu County Government, Jambojet, Lufthansa Group, Qatar Airways, Air Kenya Express, Sense of Africa, MasterCard, Hans Paul Limited. So I'm told Samburu County has just arrived. Ubuntu is also here. And Samburu? Can start. I still get Ubuntu.
CEO, please don't leave the stage. I would like to ask Mr. Tangi and the PS to join the CEO on the podium. So this morning we are going to unveil the New Look Destination magazine. The CEO has graciously given you a marking scheme for improving your business. She went through the data, but this is one additional thing in the basket, a platform that we can use to tell the stories of the destination. Most of you will remember that we had this magazine before COVID, 18 editions, it's back, and it's your tool to use for your adverts, for your stories. And so let's see the New Look Destination magazine.
On 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the magazine. Let's give a round of applause, please. And those are some of the sample of copies that we have. We ask them to pose and we take a round of photos on that.
Nick, please join them just as a representative of the private sector. Nick, please. Kata CEO, kindly just join in to represent the private sector. CC Tourism. No. Thank you, thank you. Ecotourism, please join in.
We have made arrangements for you to also get a copy, so we'll give you each a copy so that you can go through it, have a feel of it, give us your feedback, and we are confident that this will be a tool that will really work very well for us. So we will definitely ensure that you all get a copy, and so you can go through it.
So allow me to request the CEOs to just remain so that I introduce them, and any CEO seated, kindly come forward so that we recognize you, and our county government representatives. Kindly make your way. We would like to recognize you. Our CEOs and county representatives, please. So I'd like to request Alex to pass the mic so that we can introduce our CEOs and representatives from our counties. Just your name and the organization.
Thank you very much. My name is Gertrude Nginai Shube from the County Government of Taita Taveta, the CCM in charge of trade, tourism, culture and industry. Glad to be present. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Lynette Kamonde, the Chief Executive Officer, Ecotourism Kenya.
Good morning. Rafael Enayara, CC in charge of tourism, trade, cooperatives, investments, and enterprise development, Samburu County Government.
Good morning. Nikanor Sabula, CEO, Kenya Association of Travel Agents, Qatar.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jackson Olempario, CEO, My Economic Bloc, which brings together the counties of Narok, Kajiado, and Samburu.
Good morning, all. My name is Marley Sianto. I'm the Assistant Director of Tourism and Wildlife, Narok County, representing the entire Narok County here.
Thank you so very much, our CEOs and our county representatives. You know, you better take their numbers. You know, those phone calls when we are struggling to get into the parks and the conservancies, these are the people who make it possible, and they're the ones who actually extend those courtesies. So we truly, truly appreciate the role that you play, and we look forward to more partnerships. Thank you so very much. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, before I invite Director Tanki on behalf of our chairman, we brought back the Destination magazine after we conducted a research in the international markets about the Magical Kenya brand, and what came out was the fact that as we adopt technology, this industry is still very strong on publications, and our missing through publications was a factor that was contributing to some of the gaps in our brand recognition. So we'd like to encourage you to continue adopting technology, but remember the industry is still very, very heavily driven by publications and physical representation. At this juncture, I'd like to invite Director David Tanki on behalf of the chairman. Karibu, Director.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Our chief guest, PS John Ololtua, our CEO June Chepkemei, and all other CEOs present, please allow me to ride on the protocols already established. And I will be speaking on behalf of the chairman, Francis Kichaba, and I will make sure that I do exactly that, so that I don't say anything that is above my pay grade. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the Magical Kenya Travel Expo 2025 media launch. As a board, we are immensely proud to champion this flagship event, an event that has consistently demonstrated its efficacy in forging critical bonds between our local tourist selected high-value buyers from our key international markets, as the CEO mentioned a little bit earlier. Year after year, MKTE delivers tangible business results, and I know we are all aware of that, and we have benefited from it, solidifying Kenya's position on the global stage. This year, we are taking MKTE to new heights by partnering with the Africa Tourism Investment Forum, ATIF, And this strategic collaboration will not only enhance the business-to-business networking opportunities, but also put the spotlight on the many investment opportunities available in Kenya's tourism sector. Not only new investments, but also possibly improving the investments that are already there, or upgrading them so that, you know, they attain the level that is recommended by a number of travelers. We are determined to position MKTE as the go-to platform for both local and international stakeholders. We have made significant strides towards realizing this vision, and I am confident that MKTE 2025 will be the biggest and best yet. And I do know that from the short survey that was done earlier, I think you are very keen on ensuring that the planning for this year's event will be a lot better. And as a board, we want to guarantee that we will do everything possible to make sure that we are doing a lot more, so that every other year we are scaling up. Our unique selling proposition lies in the carefully curated mix of product, knowledge trips, exhibitions, and networking opportunities. As you have already seen, the theme for this year's MKTE is unlocking Africa's potential through sustainable tourism growth. And it resonates deeply with our mission. And we are committed to ensuring that tourism growth is not only sustainable, but also yields tangible benefits for local communities and the environment. And that is what we are after, because you know that even as a government, we are keen in ensuring that, you know, everybody is uplifted. Tourism touches on literally everyone, not just the traveler, but everybody benefits, including Mama Mboga, who supplies things to the hotels. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to all our partners, stakeholders, and exhibitors for their steadfast support. Your contributions to this event is invaluable, and I'm confident that together we can achieve great things. And we actually want to work together. And at this point, allow me to just weigh in briefly to what the CEO mentioned. Kenyans generally, there's a lot of negativity in our communication. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help any country. It doesn't help any sector. It doesn't help any family to be too negative. Occasionally there will be some posts on social media saying something negative, and I want to let us know that every country has a negative thing. If you look for negative things, you will always get. And I want to encourage us that whenever you see anything, let's be the first ones to respond positively, so that we can change the frequency of discussions instead of firing a lot more negatives. Even if there is something leaking, so what? I mean, which places don't leak occasionally? So I want to encourage us, ladies and gentlemen, that we support the sector, not just by quietly being there, but actively participating. Should you see anything, then you can positively encourage people that this is a minor thing, and it will be addressed. So something, you know, I trust your good wisdom. To our esteemed buyers, we invite you to immerse yourself, in the beauty, diversity, and hospitality of magical Kenya. As you connect with our exhibitors, I encourage you to think outside the box and explore new and innovative tourism experiences. And by the way, should you have anything that you think may be able to help, please do not hesitate. There is no monopoly of knowledge. Please share it with the management or even with the board, and we'll be very happy to pick it up, enrich it, and possibly use it to attract a lot more people to the benefit of ourselves in the sector and even the country at large. Whether you are a seasoned buyer or a newcomer to the African market, MKTE 2025 offers a world of opportunities waiting to be tapped. We are confident that the enhanced structure, the focus on sustainability, and the integration with Active will deliver an expo of unprecedented success and impact. You will be so glad that you will participate in the 2025 MKTE. We are ready to host the 15th edition. It is 15th, Okay. Of the magical Kenya Travel Expo as we open Kenya to the world. To the tourism business, let's leverage this opportunity for business as we grow our tourism sector, and for the media, let's profile this magical destination by telling the impactful Kenya's stories. And you know, there's a lot of things we can talk about this country, a lot. And to the media people in the fourth estate, I want to encourage you to actually do that. If I reflect on Ethiopia, it's unbelievable what Ethiopia does. The level of patriotism is at another level. And we want to encourage all of us to talk a lot more positive about our destination, about our country. Even if there is something that is negative, every place there is something negative. But we choose to ride on the things that add value, the things that adds value to the sector, helps us in the sector, and therefore your active comments, communication, whenever there is anything that is posted, will help the industry a lot. With those few remarks on behalf of the chairman, asanteni sana.
Thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause. Allow us to change the program a little bit. At the beginning, we had asked you about your expectations, and you shared your questions and some reflections. We would like to just quickly go through them very briefly, just to address some of the issues and some of the challenges and some of the improvements that we've been able to do. So allow me to invite Betty Chan, who's the Director of Marketing, to come and just grace through those questions briefly. And then thereafter, we will proceed with our program. Betty, karibu.
Thank you, Alex. Good morning. How are you today? Okay. Welcome to this session. It's going to be very brief. We did ask you some questions about your expectations for today's session, and we have gotten varied feedback. I'll just read 2 or 3. One expectation for today is, how is the MKTE 2025 going to be different from past editions? Another expectation is, address last year's challenges. Another expectation, the venue is too far. Last, keep time. Those are some of the expectations for today. In terms of what are your key objectives for participating at MKTE 2025, majority of you said to understand market trends and policy direction. Majority of you said that, followed by building brand visibility and generating business leads and sales. Next question was, what type of buyers or markets would you like KTB to prioritize hosting at MKTE 2025? Majority of you have said luxury and high net worth travelers from Africa and Asia. Okay. Then which area should be a top priority for KTB government support? Majority of you have said enhanced marketing campaigns, including international markets. Last 2, which areas would you be willing to directly support as a co-host partner for MKTE 2025? Majority of you have said accommodation, which is, I guess, in line with the representation we have here today. I see a lot of hotels and lodges present in the room. What describes the role you're willing to play to help Kenya achieve 5.5 million visitors by 2027? What role are you willing to play? Majority of you have said co-invest in promotional or hosting initiatives and actively promote Kenya in my international network. So all of us have a role to play. We thank you so much for your feedback on the questionnaire. And what I'm going to do very briefly in less than 10 minutes is I'm going to address the issue of the venue, the choice of venue for MKTE. Number 2, I'll talk about some of the challenges we faced last year. And then number 3, I'll tell you what's new in MKTE this year. So, choice of venue. Many of you have been with us since we began MKTE. You've had our CEO say that we are in our 15th year. MKTE has grown. We started MKTE 15 years ago with 50 exhibitors, 50. Last year, we had 326. Finding a venue that meets our capacity needs has been a challenge. KICC can no longer cut it. KICC is too small now. We had wanted to do Bomas of Kenya, but there's construction going on at Bomas of Kenya, so it's not available. So Uhuru Gardens really is the ideal venue for MKTE. It's a one-stop shop. It enables us to have all our activities, from the expo to the seminars to the cocktails, any side events that we are having. It allows us to have everything in one location. Now, we did have challenges last year, and our challenges were mainly around the infrastructure. We did have a comprehensive debrief session with most of you in the room. Most of you attended, some of you did not, but we addressed those issues. And we know that the issues were around internet, power, the air conditioning, access, the food. We had you. We had all those issues. We were there ourselves. We witnessed them. And what I want to assure you stakeholders today is that we have put in place measures to take care of those issues, because the venue itself is beautiful. It's amazing. How many believe Uhuru Gardens is a good venue? How many? Okay, not so many. Okay, but it's an excellent venue if everything works. So what we are doing as KTB is to make sure that everything works. So in terms of venue and logistics, issues around access, the washrooms, the level ground, what we've done is that we have already secured professional companies to provide these services. A lot of you said the washrooms were very few, so people were queuing to go to the washrooms. We have secured a supplier who is going to provide us with adequate washrooms. In terms of the ground and the leveling, the ground was not level in all places. We are working with our event organizer to ensure that there's carpeting and flooring so that everybody is working on a flat and a comfortable surface. In terms of access, this year we want to do pre-registration. We want everyone to collect their badges before. We will send your badges to you as a PDF document so that you can already have it with you when you come to Uhuru Gardens. A lot of you are coming to print your badges on site, which just causes unnecessary queues and a lot of time wastage, because MKT is a business forum, so time is of essence. In terms of the on-site facilities, the electricity, the power, the internet, we've already secured an internet provider. For electricity, we have secured a supplier that's going to give us backup to ensure that we don't have issues with lighting as we did last time. When it comes to booth setup and labeling, there was an issue with labeling. On the first day of the show, the booths were not properly labeled. This has been taken care of and will not happen again. The floor plan is going to match with the labeling. In certain areas of the expo, we were alive to the fact that the floor plan was not speaking to the labeling. So all that is being taken care of. In terms of food and beverage, we will have the food court area. We want to provide you with more variety. We also got feedback where stakeholders said, give us more variety. So that is being taken care of. The gate pass, streamlined gate pass distribution, as I've said, will encourage all of you to print your badges before so that we don't have issues at the gate. We're also working with the Uhuru Gardens team to ensure that the customer service levels are improved. We had some complaints around that last year, and it is being taken care of. Overall, we want to ensure that the overall planning and execution of the event is professionally done so that we are able to give you as our stakeholders value. Now, moving on to the buyers, we are diversifying our buyers, and one of the key things this year at MKTE is that we are targeting buyers from new markets. A lot of you have said you need to grow your businesses. You've already established contacts in our traditional markets, the US, the UK, and you're looking for new markets. Our focus this year in terms of where the weight of the buyers will come from is Africa and Asia. We will have buyers from the Americas and Europe, but majority will come from Africa and Asia. Now, Africa contributes 40% of all tourist arrivals into Kenya, which is a huge, huge opportunity even for you as stakeholders to invest in the African market. Asia contributes about 18 to 20%, and it's also key for us, and we want to prioritize these two markets for this year's Expo. Marketing and promotion, we continue to promote MKTE. We've just had a team from KTB that has come from Latin America, promoting the Expo, recruiting buyers. So we are certain that this year's show will be amazing. I've talked about operational improvements, so that is in order. Next slide. So what's new? A lot of you have said, so what's new in, at MKT this year? Why should we sign up? Why should we attend? So this year, we plan to have the Africa Tourism Investment Forum. The Africa Tourism Investment Forum is an initiative of the Africa Tourism Board that brings together ministers, tourism ministers from different African countries. We are working with the Africa Tourism Board to have them host this forum during MKTE. What that does is that it elevates MKTE as an event, and it also elevates the profile of the destination of Kenya as a whole. So that's definitely a huge plus for us this year. Then we have more buyers. We have been bringing between 100 and 150 buyers. This year we are targeting over 200 hosted buyers from all the 4 regions, Africa, America, Europe, Asia, with emphasis on Africa and Asia. In terms of the new markets, we are also targeting buyers from Mexico, from Brazil, Czech Republic, Poland, Netherlands, Spain, and these are markets that we have not had high representation of buyers in previous years. So this year is going to be the first. Then last, in terms of what's new, we have expanded seminar programs for during MKT. We are going to have very interesting topics with very key speakers, both local and international, again, to raise the profile of MKT and to continue to equip you with the trends, the issues, and the latest insights in the tourism industry. So ladies and gentlemen, in a nutshell, that's what we are planning for MKT this year. I encourage you to sign up early, tell your friends about it. This show this year is going to be bigger, better, and we have listened, we have heard you, and we have addressed the issues that were raised last year. I thank you so much.
Thank you, Betty. Isn't that very exciting? Excitement, to see the excitement, and it is there, we're getting there. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to hand over now to the CEO so that we can proceed with our program.
Would like to invite the chief guest to address us.
Thank you very much. I think the CEO needs to go to school on how to invite a chief guest. Yeah? I hope you agree with me. So, that's just by the way. The CEO of the Kenya Tourism Board, my brother David Tangi, who is representing the chair of the Kenya Tourism Board, the CEOs present here. I've seen my brother in the CEO, other CEOs who are present here. I've also seen my brother Jackson Olempario, who is the CEO of my economic block, the CC Tourism, Samburu County, all the tourism players who are here, lodges, hotels, and other travel agents represented here. Good morning. God is good and all the time. Can you wave in the air? Thank you very much. I think I will be very brief because the previous speakers have spoken, and I think they have highlighted the purpose of this particular meeting, or this launch for that matter, and they have also highlighted a number of things that we are doing to improve. But let me first and foremost take this opportunity to once again welcome all of you to this media launch, which is very important for the Magical Kenya Travel Expo 2025, which you have been reliably informed that it will be taking place between 1st to 3rd October 2025. This is very significant, and I want also to take this opportunity to convey the greetings of the Cabinet Secretary, who was not able to join you, but we will be organizing another very big event in the middle of this year that will bring on board much more players from the government and also from the private sector to once again reiterate the importance and the significance of this event known as the Magical Kenya Travel Expo. Secondly, I will want to take this opportunity to appreciate all of you. We have been having exhibitors, buyers, local and international partners, the media, the county governments, and the private sector. You have been participating very actively, and we don't take that for granted. We want to appreciate you because you play a critical role in the transformation of the tourism sector in general. And therefore, while I appreciate you, I would like to again reiterate the fact that the Magical Kenya Travel Expo is a premier tourism trade fair, which is, as has been explained by the CEO and Bonatangi representing the chair and all the other players, it's growing from strength to strength since the time that it was started. You can see that the numbers are growing. A very good example is last year, where we had over 4,000 delegates, as has been indicated, 180 international buyers from 35 countries, 417 exhibitors, just to mention a few. And this demonstrates the growing significance and international recognition of Magical Kenya Travel Expo. And so therefore, we really want to call upon you to continue supporting this Magical Expo, as it plays a critical role in our tourism sector. This 15th edition, as has been indicated, aims to create a dynamic platform for Kenyan travel trade to engage with hotel buyers from around the world. You have seen that one of the focuses of the government under the bottom-up transformation agenda is to be able to expand our source markets and to be able to look at Africa, to look at Latin America and many other countries, including Asia. Of course, not forgetting our traditional partners who have always continued to be faithful and to be able to support us. And therefore, we echo our desire to continue maintaining even our partners that have been very faithful in coming to our country, but at the same time expanding to new ones. MKTE also will be able to strengthen, this year we want to strengthen the Magical Kenya brand as a must-attend travel expo in Africa. And you can see what we are doing to bring more partners that were not there before. And you can see how we are going to hype it. We have just begun with the media launch today, and I've indicated to you that we'll have another big event that will be presided over by the Cabinet Secretary and many government officials who will come to be able to partner and make this expo a very important source for our tourism numbers, a very important source for investment, a very important source for learning, sharing experiences and knowledge. And we believe that this event will continue to contribute to our national goal of attaining over 5 million tourists by 2027. And as has been indicated by the previous speakers, our target to attain those numbers is not just a target of the government and the Kenya Tourism Board as such, but it is a global target. It's a target for all of us that we will need to be able to do something that you can be able to do. We have already indicated that we are targeting a little bit higher this year. I don't want to repeat the statistics that have been mentioned, but you can see we are targeting much more in terms of exhibitors, in terms of hosted buyers, in terms of travel professionals, and also what we refer to as pre-arranged business meetings, and of course the farm trips, what we normally refer to as familiarization trips across the country, which of course help our visitors to sample and see what our magical country has. And looking at the theme of the Magical Kenya Travel Expo, which is unlocking Africa's potential through sustainable tourism growth, I want to agree that this reflects to our greater vision, the greater vision of our country that commits to responsible tourism and, of course, the development of our communities and preservation of our heritage, both natural heritage and cultural heritage. And therefore, the Magical Kenya Travel Expo will have to look at how we can be able to practice responsible tourism development. We'll also be looking at integration of the African Tourism Investment Forum. It has already been mentioned, and I think this will give a boost to the Magical Kenya Travel Expo. And obviously, we'll promote Kenya as a continental hub for tourism investment and business. We are working very closely with the State Department for Investment, Trade and Industry, and there are a lot of investors who are actually currently sampling what they can invest in our country. A very good example is the new hotels that are coming up, and of course a number of airlines that are also opening up in terms of flight, air accessibility, and many other economic ventures that are taking place. And so therefore the inclusion of the Africa Tourism Investment Forum will obviously boost and make the event better and be able to attract much more. We're also looking at harnessing the creative economy. Recently, my cabinet secretary launched a program on youth in tourism. And if you look at the government generally, it's focusing on the creative economy, looking at how we can be able to empower the youth to be able to create, to use their knowledge and talents to be able to create. And therefore, under the areas of film, music, cultural festivals, just to mention a few, we are working very closely to promote this talent, which is very important, and which we have actually indicated to our SAGAs, the Kenya Tourism Board, and all the other agencies that play a critical role, including the other state agencies in the Department for Wildlife, KWS, for example, and others have been called upon to include in their programs a component of the youth, a component of the creative economy, which is actually going to be a backbone, and which I think, if promoted very well, and I really want to call upon every sector here, whether you are a travel agency, you are an hotel, or whatever business, you find a way of giving some opportunity to these talented people. Because these talented people can be able to promote our country. The energy that they use to speak in Facebook, in Twitter, and the X space can actually be better utilized. And I call upon KTB to see how to tap into this, just as we call upon all the other tourism agencies. And Bwana CC, I want to commend you, the county governments, and Olembario, who is the CEO of the Ama Economic Bloc. I want to commend all of you who are representing the county, and the officer from Narok, who is representing the Narok County government. My message to you is that the national government and the county governments are actually partners in this, and the county governments play a very critical role. And you are aware that the meetings that we have done and what we need to do to be able to promote. We have been supporting the cultural festivals across board, which we are using also as avenues not only to preserve our culture, but also avenues to be able to communicate the rich heritage that Kenya has. And so therefore we want to harness that and see how that can be. Last but not least, we're also looking at sustainability and innovation. You know, we like to showcase Kenya's leadership in sustainable tourism practices. And that's why we are really looking at wildlife conservation efforts, community engagement, and a number of areas that we really need to look at to be able to continue to sustain and innovate and showcase Kenya sustainable tourism practices. As I conclude, I don't want to go to the statistics. I think the CEO had already alluded to the statistics, and she also alluded to the research, what we are doing to study the market, to look at probably what we need to change in terms of accommodation, in terms of travel, and whatever area that we need to tap into. And I want to call upon this entire gathering here, and those probably who are hearing me and they are not here, is that for the tourism sector to flourish, we will really welcome your ideas and suggestions. That this morning I was speaking with the Director General KWS, and he indicated to me on what they are doing to open more gates to the park to reduce the queues and so on, so that probably instead of using one main gate, we have several other gates and many other things that they are going to do to improve and address any challenges that are there, so that it makes it easy for our visitors, you know, to flow and come in the way they want. And currently we're also working together as one government to look at how we can even improve the airport experience for the travelers and so on and so forth. And so all these factors are all geared. You have heard that the government is currently started construction of the Bomas International Convention Center, which is expected to be able to assist and provide more space. Of course, our KICC is still very great. We are improving it, we are expanding it, we are making it better, and we would like to have even more. As we have the Bomas International Convention Center, I did call upon the county governments that we need even to partner and see how we can have convention centers in Kisumu, in the coast, and many other areas, so that we are able to attract mice. Mice is really a low-lying fruit for having many people coming. The other day I was discussing with the hoteliers, a few friends of mine who own hotels, yeah? And in fact, they were giving a few examples of just the IATA, just the conference that we had the other day, IATA. And they were recording very big numbers, you know, who are being accommodated. If the IATA conference was not hosted here, you wouldn't have gotten those kind of visitors who are there. So the MICE sector is very, very critical, and that's why I've been calling upon even the private sector. This hotel, for example, probably, I don't know how many conference facilities they have and what numbers they can accommodate. But you can be very sure that if this facility was not there, it may not be very easy to attract even people who may want to do conferences. So I really want to call upon each and every one of us to look at how we can be able to promote. As government, I want to conclude by telling you that as government, we are very, very keen and we are focused. Actually, we are looking at three major things as at now. Number one, we are looking at tourism products to identify them, document them, improve them, and ensure if there is any infrastructural development that are required to be done, then the government comes on board. And number two is tourism marketing, you know, marketing the destination. And that's why I'm very proud of the Kenya Tourism Board, because that's their mandate. They really must market, but they cannot market alone. June, you need to tap into all these people. There is something that they can do. The county governments can do something. Of course, you have the overall mandate to coordinate and the marketing effort under the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife. But these other agencies and groups and so on can be able to market our country in a better way, because we don't lack what to showcase. The other day I was challenging, you know, those that have, let's say, we have the National Museums of Kenya, we have the Kenya Wildlife Service, and I was challenging them to come up with the Nairobi County, City County. I was challenging, and even KICC, I was telling them to come up with some recreation in the evening. When the tourists, after they come back from the Nairobi National Park, we can have some dancers, musicians, and some showcases in the evening, you know, so that we have a lot of variety, and you know, a wide variety to choose from, where people can be able to choose from. You know, sports. The Magical Trail Series, June, you need to expand it, let it go across, but we need to have some sports activities around the city. You know, we need to have some activities around the city that can be able to attract more people. So as government, we will facilitate the environment for that, the legislation for that, and the support that is required. So when we'll be calling upon you, we are currently working on the National Tourism Strategy, which we hope to complete by June. And we have, of course, the National Tourism Policy and the Tourism Act, which very soon, Bwana David, I can see Kinyangi, can you stand? Thank you. This guy is in charge of the tourism policy, and we are already going on. Very soon we shall call a validation workshop just to go through the tourism policy, the National Tourism Strategy, and the Tourism Act, just to see how else can we be able to propose important changes that can be able to transform our country. But peace is the cornerstone, and I'm happy that our country is peaceful, and I call upon every person to continue promoting that peace, and to continue speaking positively about our country, and to be patriotic, as already alluded by Bwana Tangi, because that is what will take us to places. So thank you so very much. I'm indeed very happy. I'm so honored to address you, and I'm very, very proud of you, because every time we have called upon you to be able to attend the preparations for this Magical Kenya Travel Expo, you have always come in numbers, you have been patient, and you have listened. But above all, I want to appreciate you because of the comments that you have, the feedback that you are giving. You know, there is no progress without feedback. And as government, we are very ready for feedback, so that we are able to address whatever you come up with. But Tangi indicated that even as you give the feedback, give it proudly, give it in a very patriotic way, give it passionately, give it in a way that will still attract someone who is out there and who is seeing. Because we are in a global village. What you say, the world is seeing. And therefore it's important that we really speak in a way that will be very, very attractive for all of us. So thank you so much, and I want to use this opportunity as I conclude, before I launch, to once again also appreciate Kenya Tourism Board and the team for the work that they have done, and the ministry, our cabinet secretary for our leadership, the entire private sector for your leadership and for your contribution, the county governments for what they are doing, and above all, of course, our partners, including the travel industry and all of them, for the good work that they are doing to support our country and to ensure that we move forward. With those many remarks, therefore, I want to use this opportunity to once again welcome all of you to Magical Kenya Travel Expo 2025, and therefore use again this opportunity to officially, I know there will be that colorful thing that you'll be doing, I don't know what it is, but let me use my voice first. Because this voice is God-given, isn't it? So I want to use this opportunity to officially launch the Magical Kenya Travel Expo 2025 and welcome all of you to come in large. Now, I want to see a sea of humanity, all right? A sea of? Yeah, at Uhuru Gardens, and that will make all of us proud. God bless you so much, and you are great people, you are special people. We trust you, we believe in you, we love you. The media, I've been telling you, but sijaona mukianza kufanya. I've been saying, please look at me. I've been telling you, there is some pro bono too. There is something that you can just do. You see, there are so many articles you write without even anybody telling you to write. And I told you as a PS Tourism, each one of you come from a village. You come somewhere, there must be something in your village that can be attractive, that can be very good. I had actually implored upon all the media houses, whether they are print media, radio, television, whatever. I had actually called upon you. Please don't ask me to pay. I'd ask you, please just write something. Just say something about what is attractive in your village, and you'll see some visitors coming. Even the domestic tourists, you will see. You see, I come from Narok myself. Maybe if you say something about Kakamega, I'll go there, and a few other fellows from Narok can go there, and they become local tourists and they enjoy what is there. Or if you say something about Marsabit or about Turkana, which is the cradle of humankind, I'm very happy. We have a big team right now going on to do the questionnaires and so on in preparation for the construction of a museum and a science park that will transform that place. So please, write something, just write something. Something, just write. Yeah. Let it be seen. Utapata wa Chinese wengi wamekuja hapa tu kwa sababu wewe umeandika. Umesema kitu. Sema tu kitu. You know, you guys, you have a lot of power. You can, ukisema tu kitu inakuwa, si ndio? Sijui kama mmenikubalia leo. Leo sema kitu. Just say something. Something, and I'll be very happy. And June, hawa waungwana wakisema jambo, hata hiyo 5.5 tunasema, mimi naona itafika 10 million. Ama namna, si wapige makofi hao. Itafika. Na wale Gen Z, wale vijana wetu, pia sema kitu. Andika. Just be creative, write something, say something. CC tourism, say something. How many times have you posted on Facebook yourself? Ile mambo mazuri ya Samburu huko. Walembario, wewe unasimamia kaunti ngapi? 3. Wewe umeandika? Have you said something? Bwana Safula, have you said something? My friend of Go Places, have you said something? You have said. Let me see who have said something. Something good about Kenya. No, let me see by a show of hands. All of you have said, Mungu awabariki sana. Thank you.
Bwana PS, before you leave, I'd like to request that we are joined on the stage by the CEO, Director Olempula, and Director Nick, because we want to unveil the video that counts down to MKTE 2025. So, welcome you in front. I'd like to request we just move a little bit to the side because we're going to show the video up here. And to the technical team, please load it up. Let's go.
In 2024, the world gathered in Nairobi Uhuru Gardens for the Magical Kenya Travel Expo, a celebration of connection, culture, and commerce. With over 4,000 delegates, 326 exhibitors, 168 international buyers, and more than 7,500 business meetings, Magical Kenya Travel Expo 2024 set new benchmarks for African tourism engagement. Now, we look forward. This October, Magical Kenya Travel Expo 2025 returns bigger, bolder, and even more impactful. We're targeting 400 global exhibitors, 200 top-tier vetted buyers, and over 5,000 trained visitors from around the world. Join us as we launch the African Tourism Investment Forum and unlock new opportunities and celebrate sustainable tourism growth under the theme Unlocking Africa's Potential Through Sustainable Tourism Growth. Business, innovation, culture, it all meets here. Get ready for the future of travel in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Magical Kenya Travel Expo 2025. It begins now.
for the opportunity to give a vote of thanks. Let me begin by thanking our chief guest, the PS, for your remarks and also for encouraging us to say something. I hope when we leave here, we will go and say something. My task this morning is very simple, is to thank various people who have made this event successful, but above all, the people that makes Magical Kenya Travel Expo a success for the last 15 years. Let me begin by again thanking our chief guest, PS Jean Ololtua, for your support and for always encouraging us in the industry, and for your very, very great remarks this morning. I also want to thank Director Tankei from KTB, representing the board. We appreciate you for the support that you've continued to give and the leadership that you give to KTB. Let me also appreciate CEO June and her team at KTB for the time and the investment that you put to ensure that MKTE happens, and we look forward to a successful 2025 MKTE, and also recognize the efforts that the national government has put in and the investment they put in to ensure that for the last 15 years we've continued to showcase what Kenya has to offer to our domestic and international visitor. We appreciate you for the thought of having MKTE, and as well as our colleagues from the county government. I think the CECs that are here represented. Thank you very much for being here this morning, but also for the support that you continue to give. I want to also appreciate my colleagues from the private sector. This industry is nothing without you. We make the tourism industry. So thank you for showing up in huge numbers this morning to just witness the launch of MKTE 2025. Allow also me to thank the various sponsors that have supported MKTE that are also here this morning. I think we did recognize some of them. We appreciate you for your presence here and your continued support and investment in MKTE, and we also look forward for that continued partnership. Allow me to recognize and thank most sincerely our colleagues in the media. You are important, and there's a reason why the PS was insisting that you go and say something, because you are the people that create and build the image of our country, and therefore we want to continue to encourage you to support the industry, to support our country, and to continue to showcase our offering as a destination. Before I wind up, I also want to thank our MCs for the day today, Wausi and Tonui. They've done a great job, haven't they? Thank you very much for guiding the session this morning. We clap for them. And finally, and above all, I want to thank you. It is a Monday morning. When I was coming here, I was coming not very sure what a Monday morning looks like. June, this is a new one. We always get scared of doing Monday morning breakfast. But you've just confirmed to us that there's nothing wrong with Monday morning. In fact, if this is the kind of turnout you get on a Monday morning, how many of us are encouraged that Monday morning works? So thank you very much, all of you, for showing up today, this morning, and for your listening. And I think we haven't lost even a single person. So we appreciate you for coming this morning. Over to you, Tony.
Thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause, please. And also a round of applause for our chief guests and for all of you for coming and turning up today. We greatly appreciate it. We have given you on your table a commitment card. Please feel free to go through it and just sign it and then drop it off at the front desk. For media, we have set up a stage outside for quick interviews and sound bites. So please, media, there's a place out there, and we'll have our PS and our CEO and our chief guests available. And to all of you, MKTE 2025, we will see you there. And this time, it will be bigger and better, as you have heard. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Ifomisha jipa naona kina Jacinta, yani rada fisa wanangu wako na jipa, chikisha pitisha oya pachika kabisa. Yeah, sound like somebody. Pele mapangale, one leg, goda goda, both leg, mapangale, one leg, goda goda, both leg, mapangale, one leg, goda goda, both leg, mapangale, one leg, goda goda, both leg.
Dance kama pigwa shoti mapangale, squeeze ni kubanju na shembe tenga, si jaba si shada we goda kona rada, piga janta kavepe na njoti maza afuwasha shetani ajikate mapangale mapangale. Anadai ex wake ni 1 minute man, eti daily you know how to jume na ichapadi lala.
If you're looking to start your own online business and earn online, watch this video till the end. If not, just skip. It is not for you. My name is Frida. For over 23 years, I worked in the corporate sector. And that very well-earning job, everybody's dream job, but I hung up my boots because I could not schedule my leave days. I could not plan my vacations. I love traveling as a person. But do you know what? One day when I was on vacation with my family, with other two families, I was called back to work. After day one, I was called back to the office. And I had to travel at night, leaving my family behind, and traveling alone back to the office. It pained me. Up to date, I don't think I have stopped paining from that experience. But we learn from such pains and we grow from such pains. And that is why today I'm here. I love traveling. Before I had to seek for travel clearance to go anywhere, to travel anywhere sometimes. I remember one time I had to miss my travel plans, scheduled travel, because my travel clearance never came out on time, so I missed. Yeah, and it was actually a business trip, but I missed it because the travel clearance came after. So but now I love traveling, and I can travel anywhere without seeking travel clearance from anyone, without, at my